Although Malaysia as a country attaches great importance to education, Malays are given priority when it comes to higher education. This has limited the educational opportunities for ethnic Chinese along with other non-Malays, which means even if the Chinese students are receiving excellent grades, they still might not get into a school in their own country.
Taiwan and Malaysia are separated by just a 5-hour flight, and there's no time difference between the two locations.
Taiwan Education Center Malaysia holds an annual enrollment fair for the past 5 consecutive years. This year, 44 universities in Taiwan participated in the event, traveling to 5 different states to recruit students.
If you are interested in nursing, this is our nursing curriculum, and check to see if it suits you.
Taiwan is basically small. From north to south, it's probably only 400 kilometers.
Aside from China, Malaysia is the next largest country sending foreign students to Taiwan, with their numbers increasing every year. In 2014, the number was 13,000. In 2015, the number rose more than 10%. And last year, there was another 7% gain, as this figure topped 16,000.
Taiwan has always had a higher level of education. We usually say in Minnan dialect, as it is cheap and with a good quality. Also, many are free to choose their own specialty.
Zhang Yuanduan himself went to study in Taiwan and graduated from such a program, also marrying his wife in Taiwan. He has good feelings for Taiwan. Other ethnic Chinese and their descendants in Malaysia have good feelings about Taiwan.
Before, I watched some TV programs about Taiwan.
Taiwan's overseas college recruitment fair is quite popular with Malaysian students.
Malaysian students are fluent in languages because they speak both Chinese and English. And more importantly, their character is quite good.
Malaysia is the first step into Southeast Asia.
Malaysia has 11-year compulsory education, including 6 years of primary school and 5 years of secondary school. Even if students have good marks, it is still difficult for them to enter university.
Because the government reserves a percentage of admissions for ethnic Malay, so it is harder for other ethnic groups to gain admission.
This government system protects Malays, with Chinese students being excluded and facing no choice but to pursue higher education overseas.
I would like to inform students that in addition to the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, there's an opportunity for them to study in the Chinese language.
In fact, Taiwan has long been welcoming of Malaysian Chinese.
I'm grateful to Taiwan for providing so many opportunities to our Chinese descendants. Without such a chance, we will not have the power to promote Chinese education in Malaysia.
The Chinese community has banded together to donate money for Chinese schools to help preserve Chinese language education in Malaysia.
All Chinese communities are in support of Chinese language education, but you may be the only one to raise your hands in favor of it.
Efforts to break through in the predicament have led Chinese schools to defend Chinese culture through all means necessary to retain Chinese classes.
As a Chinese person, of course, I want to learn my mother tongue.
Their parents believe that Chinese language education cannot be ignored. Learning Chinese today has an economic benefit, as it is an international language, so the status of our Chinese schools is now very different.
Does anyone know this phrase, every generation has talented people?
Just speaking Chinese is not enough, as education related to Chinese classics as well as an understanding of Chinese history and culture are also important.
Classical Chinese cannot be ignored, as it contains great spirit and ancient wisdom, as we cannot separate ourselves from this.
Many Malaysian students come to Taiwan to make use of this education system and don't have any trouble regarding language or culture.
Taiwan is looking to strengthen exchange with Southeast Asian countries, with the Overseas Community Affairs Council joining this campus exposition at Taichung's Fengjia University.
Manufacturers from Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia are appealing to students with work opportunities.
Coming here can save time because these recruiters are actually looking for you.
Although the Taiwanese education is not officially recognized in Malaysia, many students are not worried about this issue.
While they may not be able to work in government, private enterprises do recognize these degrees.
Taiwan's education standards are much higher than Malaysia, so when they go back, they can develop well.
So far, some 60,000 have already studied in Taiwan.
We believe that these overseas students, after graduating, whether they stay in Taiwan or return to Southeast Asia, are a very good contact for extending Taiwan's power.
Malaysian students studying in Taiwan are truly a valuable asset or a seed that will grow and thrive and bring the two countries closer together.